Hi, all. Let's kick things off with a question that trips up a lot of folks. When people talk about technical debt, what are they actually referring to? It gets thrown around a lot, but isn't always explained clearly.
It's such a slippery term, isn't it, Arjun? Basically, technical debt is the work you postpone or shortcut during software development to get something out the door faster. Like cutting corners, maybe skipping refactoring or documentation so you can meet a tight deadline. But those shortcuts tend to pile up over time.
That's a great way to put it. It's almost like you're borrowing time from the future, but eventually you have to pay it back, often with interest. Have you seen teams completely bogged down by old tech decisions?
Absolutely. I once joined a project where fixing a single bug took days because no one understood the code anymore. That's exactly the sort of payment that comes due. The more debt, the slower and riskier it becomes to make changes.
It's almost scary how invisible technical debt can be until things start breaking. I'm curious, are there any early warning signs that a team should watch for before it snowballs into a bigger problem?
Totally. There are some telltale symptoms. If your team spends more time fixing bugs than building new features, or if onboarding a new developer becomes a month-long maze, that's a big hint. Messy code bases, confusing dependencies, those all point to growing debt.
And I guess when people are afraid to touch certain parts of the code because it might break everything, that's a flashing red light too. I've actually seen teams keep a running list of files they consider radioactive.
Oh wow, I've heard some call those the haunted files. It's funny in a way, but also a clear sign that technical debt is slowing down innovation and creating stress. That actually ties right into how teams should approach managing this debt.
Since technical debt can sometimes hide in plain sight, what are some practical ways teams can actually keep track of it? It feels tricky because it's not as tangible as a bug or a feature request.
You're spot on, it's not always obvious. One approach I like is adding technical debt items to your project tracking board, just like user stories. Give them real tickets, real estimates, and discuss them during planning. That way, debt isn't swept under the rug.
That makes sense. I've also seen teams use regular code reviews to highlight areas that need cleanup. Even a simple comment, let's refactor this later, can become a debt ticket. It keeps everyone honest about the work piling up.
Exactly. And keeping a shared document or backlog of debt hotspots can help too. It's all about making sure technical debt is visible, so it competes for attention with new features and bug fixes.
After a team's tracked their debt, the big question is, how do you actually start paying it down? I've heard people say you should schedule debt sprints, but that isn't always practical for busy teams.
Scheduling whole sprints just for debt is tough, honestly. What's worked for me is the Boy Scout rule: whenever you touch a piece of code, leave it a little cleaner than you found it. It spreads out the work and prevents burnout.
That's a great analogy. I've even seen teams set aside a fixed percentage of each sprint just for debt reduction, like 10% of our time is debt repayment. It's not glamorous, but it keeps things moving forward.
Definitely, and pairing up junior devs with more experienced ones during refactoring sessions can double as an educational opportunity. It's a win-win: cleaner code and stronger team knowledge.
Here's the tricky part. How do you convince stakeholders that fixing technical debt is worth the investment, especially when they're focused on new features or customer demands?
Stakeholders often want visible progress, so I try connecting debt reduction to business goals. For example, I'll point out how paying off debt speeds up future releases or reduces outages, which translates directly to happier customers.
That's smart. Sometimes it helps to show how tech debt actually drives up costs. Like, we spent 3 days wrestling with this old system that could have gone into new features. Making it concrete turns it from a tech problem into a business one.
Exactly, and sometimes sharing small wins like a faster build time or fewer bugs makes the value of technical debt work crystal clear. It helps everyone see the connection between good code health and business success.